What's going on YouTube? OCD for EDC here, and what I got for your face balls today is a little overview and review of these two little knives right here. So, what we're looking at is from Bastion Gear. They come in a box, looks like this right here. And we've got two of them here. They are called the Braza Mini Bro and the Mini Bro Cleaver. So, these are two pretty cool little knives. I don't have a lot of little knives, but we'll do a couple of size comparisons here just to get started. And I'm going to throw out the smaller knives that I do have. We'll start with the Benchmade Bug Out. So you can see there, these are tiny in comparison to the Bug Out. And here it is against the Para 3 Lightweight. So again, very, very small little knives. Here it is against the Ferrum Forge Mass Drop Gent. And I've got one more for a little knife, the Civivi McKenna. So there you go. Small little knives, that's for sure. However, these are both of these two here are stainless steel frame locks, although they do offer these in multiple configurations. So both of these knives right here are sporting D2 blade steel. And like I said, they are stainless steel frame locks. You can see you've got a little pocket clip there. It actually does function quite well as long as you've got pants material that's thin enough to get in there. But, you know, the way I see these, it's really a knife that you would just throw in your pocket. But the action on them is pretty stellar, really. It's quite impressive. And this particular one here, I got to start this off, I guess, by saying these were loaned to me by one of my viewers, a guy by the name of David. And go and give him a follow. He goes by DLBY3 on Instagram. And so you might go give him a follow and see some pictures of these, plus a lot of other really cool knives that David has. So when I got these from David, just judging by the way the condition these were in, I think he's had this one for quite a while, and this one was much newer. It is just my guess. And I'll show you a couple things that make me think that. However, you know, most of us know that D2 blade steel is not a true stainless steel, and it does have some chromium in it, just not enough to be considered a true stainless. And you can actually see a little spot right up there in the corner, if you can see it. There was quite a bit of rust on this blade. Now, I did clean it up, so I did disassemble this knife, and I tuned everything up, and I got the rust off the blade, which is great, and it looks really good now. And then, you know, I treated it with some EDCI, hopefully to keep it from rusting in the future. But I think, you know, it's probably just a function of it just sitting in the box quite a bit. I don't imagine David carries these a ton, but maybe so. I'm not really sure. This is not a knife that I was familiar with. I had never seen either one of these prior to David loaning them to me. So I did do a little bit of research, and I actually saw that Nick Shabazz, which I'm sure anyone that's watching my channel, I'm sure is familiar with Nick Shabazz, but he actually just posted a review of this little guy just a couple days ago, which I thought was kind of interesting because I think these knives have been out for quite a while just from the research that I did. But again, I'm not 100% sure when they were first released, but they do have many variations of these knives. You can actually get them. Like I said, both of these are in D2 blade steel with stainless steel frame lock. They do have what they call a titanium coating on this stainless steel frame. But if you want to check them out, go to Bastion Gear's website. It looks like they range in price. They start for this version right here, D2 stainless steel gray, is $39.99, and it looks like that is the price for either blade variant, either the Cleaver or the sheep's foot blade. However, you can get both of these in S35VN. You can also get them in titanium scales. And then they also, the highest end one is S35VN blade, titanium scales with what they call, I can't remember what they called it now, serpent maybe, or reptile texturing on the scale. It's just a, it's a texture pattern that's machined into the scale. And so the price ranges from the cheapest one, being this variant that I have in my hand here, is $39.99, up to $99.99 was the most expensive one I saw. So depending on options, materials, colors, the price ranges, like I said, $39.99 up to $99.99. So this little cleaver style blade here is just kind of a cool look. Again, configured the exact same way. Now this one here says Bastion across the backspacer, and this one does not. So that's one of the things that made me think that this one was a little bit older. The other thing is, you can see here that you've got this little pocket clip, and on the Cleaver model, the pocket clip is reversible and a deep carry pocket clip, which is pretty awesome. So this one, you have a little bit more space underneath it. It works a little bit better in a wider variety of pant material. But certainly cool little knives. Both of them have a little lanyard hole. And this one here, I also disassembled and tuned it up. The D10 on this one was really weak when I got it. I remedied that, and so now this thing flips reliably. And yeah, for being such a small little knife, the action on them is actually really fantastic, and you can shake them down. All right, so there are some differences in the dimensions on these guys, so we'll get into it real quick. So overall length on the sheep's foot, you're looking at 4.766 inches. You got a handle length of 2.799 and a blade length of 1.98. Cutting length on this one is just over 2 inches. You can see that the cutting edge comes back below the handle there. And on the Cleaver, you have an overall length of 4.78 inches, so it is slightly longer. You have a blade or a handle length of 2.785 and a blade length of 2.04. So handle is under 3 inches, blade is right at 2 inches. Handle thickness on the Cleaver is 3.19 inches, and on the sheep's foot it is 3.11. So the Cleaver is just ever so slightly thicker. Blade stock, I think, is probably where this is coming from, the thickness difference. On the Cleaver, it is 104 thousandths blade stock, and on the sheep's foot, it is 86 thousandths. And then behind the edge on the sheep's foot is about 17 thousandths, and on the Cleaver is 18 thousandths. So let's get a weight on these guys. So for a fully functional frame lock flipper for $40, I mean, it's really kind of a novelty. They're just a little kind of toy looking thing. You got 1.68 ounces, and then on the Cleaver 1.819. So I guess it's kind of interesting just because they do flip so well. And, they make all the right noises here. You can hear it, deep carry clip, reversible clip. It's got the filler plate there. It's kind of cool. It just makes me laugh, honestly. They're so small, but, very usable. I mean, they're sharp and definitely be a little package opener or whatever. They're going to work. Now, my hands are way too big. I'm sure somebody could Spidey flick this one. I can't do it just because my hands are too big and I can't hold on to the handle very well. But for a flipper, they work great. So I'm going to disassemble this one really quick just to give you a look on what's inside of these things. It's kind of funny because they are actually riding on bearings, and they are ceramic bearings at that, which is really awesome. The build quality seems to be there. I'm not real familiar with Bastion Gear. A little bit. I mean, I've certainly heard of it and seen. They've got tons of different things on their website. They do a lot of gun stuff and all sorts of different things, but yeah, they have several different knives. So you can see here we got a ceramic detent ball, and you do have some pockets for weight relieving. Get that blade stop out of the way. And then this one here, oh, this one's riding on steel bearings. I think the other one was ceramic bearings, but you can see the milled pockets there for some weight relieving on this side. And, back spacer with the integrated lanyard loop. It's pretty cool. They're small little knives for sure, but well made, and definitely pretty cool. And like I said, I mean, kind of a novelty, but a functional novelty, if you will. Everything on these is so tiny, hard for my fat fingers to deal with all the parts. They're just so small. But if I can get that thing back in there, good Lord. So I don't know. There we go. I don't know how many people would be interested in something like this. These were news to me. I had not seen one of these prior to David passing these along for me to take a look at, but I'm glad he did. It's definitely a cool little thing, and I just it cracks me up how well they flip. Action on them is quite good, really. Like I said, the one was the detent was really really weak, but I was able to tune it up, and yeah, it works extremely well now and flips perfectly, reliably, 100% of the time. And both of them are, like I said, there was rust on the one blade, but I think that's probably just due to the fact that he probably doesn't carry these very often, and potentially when he put it back in its case, yeah, it had some moisture on it or something like that. I don't really know. The one that Shabazz showed in his review also had some rust, so I don't know if that's a function of the quality of steel that they're using or what, but there's no blade play. Blade is centered. Action is perfect. Blade there is centered as well. So there you go, guys. The Bastion Gear Mini Braza Cleaver sheep's foot. Like I said, these are stainless steel, but you can get them in titanium, and they have some different color variants and stuff. So for $40, I think they're kind of fun, something different, and definitely something tiny. So there you go. Hope you guys enjoyed this. We will talk to you next time.